Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fan Behavior. I'm Zoe. I'm here with Hannah.
What's up?
Sorry that we weren't on video last week. We had some YouTube uploading issues, and honestly, I just couldn't
Deal.
It was at a breaking point, so we just said audio only. So if you only watch on YouTube and you don't know that we did actually post episodes last week. We did Why You Should Root for Every F1 Driver, and it's on our Spotify, Apple, wherever you choose to listen to podcasts. So if you missed it, you can go listen to it there.
Yeah, two-parter.
It's a two-parter too, so which is always fun. But now we're back on YouTube. Hopefully, I mean, we're recording this, but I anticipate that we won't have problems uploading this time around. Which is obviously great. But I figure this is going to be a Ask Us Anything type of episode, just some general questions about the F1 season, what's going on. But I also thought we could kind of hit some of the news that's happened.
Great.
If you're down for that.
I'm down.
So we are obviously today, when this comes out, it's F1 launch week.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing that big livery launch at the O2 in London. Lots of, I think, creators, people are going to be there. I saw Madeline White, the influencer, got flown out by F1, and she always makes great F1 content.
She does.
She's probably like the number one influencer F1 creator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not as many. I can't think of another like non F1 influencer who loves Formula One. And like a real, you know, you can just tell that she's like an OG F1 fan.
Yeah.
But there were a couple teams that kind of launched, in quotations, their cars this past week, one being McLaren, one being Williams. McLaren gave us like a camo livery, which is not going to be their livery. That's just a disguise because they're doing their...
They're still hiding.
Everyone's still hiding. And I think
of course they are.
Everyone's hiding. Williams also did their quote unquote launch this week or last week as well. And the content's starting to come out. You know, we're starting to see more people come out of hiding.
Yeah.
Reveal their race suits for the season, their team kits for the season. Like we're getting helmets. We're getting closer and closer to the season. How do you feel about it? Are you ready? Are you like excited? All
Both.
the things.
I'm like itching to like see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm excited for race 1, and also just transparently, I look at the race calendar and I'm very overwhelmed by it.
Because
well, just because we don't just watch anymore, you know? I think sometimes it can be overwhelming. I mean, obviously we do an episode every week anyway, but it's just kind of like the race recaps. I love doing them. I want to be so abundantly clear about that. But, you know, it's a lot of weekends that you're just like, well, okay, I do have to dedicate,
all my
6
time.
hours of time. And then, you know, the time zones can be a little tricky.
Well,
it's just the classic first world problems of Formula One. But I am very excited.
I'm excited. I'm very excited just because of how close we think it's all going to be and how unknown this season feels. I'm like itching to get started. I just want to kind of like get the cars on track and let's just get the ball rolling. Yeah. It's this all this anticipation that
all the pomp and circumstance that I'm just like, okay, enough with the camo and the nonsense. And
I mean, it's cool. They looked cool in their suits. You know, it was
fine. But it's like, why are we doing a pretend pre-launch?
Well, because they have to do their like shakedown, which is basically where they bring the car out and they are driving the car, but it's for like video purposes. There's like a lot of reasons why they're doing it, but
here's my question. It's like, and maybe again because of like the sponsors and stuff or whatever, but I'm like, how much time did it take to create a livery that isn't real?
Right. I don't actually know. I don't actually know if it takes out that long.
That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know if it takes that long.
Can't you just go out and like all black or all white or all orange?
Yeah, I think it's
papaya.
It's also just like a social, you know, a good social moment.
Fine.
Perhaps, but
it's all about the impressions.
It's all about the impressions.
I don't know why I sound so jaded today.
I know.
I usually am always here for the stuff.
You're coming down on everything. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that?
So wasteful. Like I've ever cared.
Yeah.
I'm an overconsumer.
You're a more is more type of.
I'm literally wearing an $80 sweatshirt because I just had to have it. Yeah. And I bought a size too big because my size wasn't was sold out. Like how dumb.
But I am excited for the launch, or I'm curious about the launch. Obviously, it's the first time that they're doing this, like, you know, all 20 drivers, all 10 teams at one time reveal type of thing. I'm curious to see how it goes down. I'm curious to see how, like, because there was a whole thing before about how fans didn't really get tickets, and like were those tickets only going to influencers or people that work for the different teams, the sponsors, the brands? Is it going to feel more corporate than it does actually feel like a fan event? We'll have to wait to see. But I think it's fun, and it might be something. It could be cool. I don't know if they've announced this or thought of this, but it should be something that like rotates. So like next year, maybe it's in New York, and then the next year could be in, Tokyo, or like they could kind of move it around to different places. Might be a little easier for it to be in London, just because that's where a lot of teams are based. Yeah, in London and in the Euro, relative area. But like, I don't know, that could just be a fun thing to kind of bring it to other places around the world, because F1, as we know, it's a global sport. We also got Ollie and Esteban in New York. Did you see them at the top of the Empire State Building?
Sure didn't.
Yeah. Okay, well, they were.
I can't wait to check it out.
They were at the top of the Empire State Building doing some press in New York, because they are an American team.
Is it cold up there right now?
It was free. I was like, why are they? They were just in their little like zip ups,
Burr.
Probably for the photo op, and then they immediately put on a coat.
Okay.
But
or they were doing press up there.
I mean, they were doing like, it was like a photo opportunity. Like, I don't know if it was like a interview situation.
That's what I thought you meant.
Photo call, if you will.
Sure.
But yeah, just they're kind of coming out of the woodwork. We're starting to see more of all these drivers, which is
that part's fun.
Which is fun, and it gets me.
Lando has a mullet, which is ish.
Yeah, and it gets me excited for the season ahead. We got this great video, or it's great for me, of Fred behind the scenes taking photos of Lewis and Charles Leclerc during their
I did see that
photo
shoot
shoot
should
thing.
Smile more,
and he like can't look inside the lens. He's got to look at the screen.
He doesn't have any reading glasses.
Exactly. And just again goes back to just Fred is a legend, and we
I'm actually under here. I am wearing my Fred Vasseur.
Oh my gosh, she could have
shout out to the red
revealed
flags.
that.
I could have, but it's too much.
Under here, I have an Enchante Chalet shirt, so we're repping our F1 people underneath. And yeah, so we have about a month until the season begins, until we kick off in Australia. And as you said, like, the first chunk of races for us are all going to be kind of at difficult times. We got Australia, we got Japan, we have China right out of the gate. The Middle East race, those are more friendly to us, because they're night races for them, so they're like morning for us, whatever. But that is always hard when like
the late night ones are tough for us. The debate
for Australia of like, do you stay up or do you wake up in the morning?
I think you have to wake up in the morning, because what time is it this
year?
Australia.
Midnight? So that's the thing. Australia, it's just at that cusp where it's like I'm staying up until like 11. So it's like, well, what's one more hour? Like, you can't kind of that one's harder.
But it's
for
2
me.
hours.
I know, but like the easier one for me is China, because I think China starts at like 2 a.m.
Oh.
So it's like at that point,
I'm asleep.
and I can get up and watch it in the morning. That's fine. It's just when it's at that like kind of awkward time where you might still be up.
Yeah.
But then like you kind of are. At least for me, I'm like, I'm curious. Like, I want to see.
Yeah, curious, and especially because it's the first one. But what's difficult is that you have no way of knowing how many red flags there will be.
I know, and Australia does bring up the red flags.
Yes, it does.
That is true. That's always a tough call. Is the red
I love
flags.
a fast forward through a red flag.
I know you do. I think the first one I will be staying up for. I'm going to be too excited. And the thing is too, like, my parents will definitely go to bed, and so they'll want to watch it in the morning. So like, should I end up like, I can start it, but should I end up like not wanting to finish it? Yeah. Or if there is a red flag and I fall asleep, I can just watch it in the morning and see it with them. But I'm just going to be so amped and looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Can't freaking wait.
Woo.
And this fact that we're back in Australia, and just like we haven't seen Australia start a season before. It's our first time. It's always been the last three years it's been Bahrain. Yeah. So fun for us.
And good for Australia.
Okay, we asked you all for some questions, just general questions about the F1 season, randomness that we could answer. So I'm going to get to those right now. We'll just start to run through some of them. Okay, which 2025 livery do you think will be the best? if you had to
that's a hard one.
Because some people take a risk and some people don't. You know, as you saw with steak, for example, last year, or
that was a risk.
Even Mercedes can kind of get a little crazy.
I know this will cause some eye rolls, but I like the Red Bull livery typically because I like the actual color of I like the navy blue. I think it looks sleek. I hope Alpine leans into the Barbie.
Pink,
yeah, like I mean, just come on, like you teased us so bad, and then you gave it to us kind of, but like give it to us this year.
Yes.
Like go Force India, like full pink, but different color.
Not Pepto.
Yeah, but like really just own it. And then I think I'm actually pretty excited for the Williams livery. You know, I love the Duracell battery, and I just hope that that's still there to stay.
Is Duracell still a sponsor?
I hope it's still there to stay. Is what I said.
Okay. No, I wasn't sure if
God, I hope so.
Stuck around or not. I can never keep track about who's on, who's off, who's
well. Duracell, I always know if they're in or not because they're you know.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever that part of the car is called, I don't know.
I don't know. I do like the Mercedes livery. I always like the all black livery. I think that looks great. I didn't love it as much when it was silver, but I understand why they did it. Silver arrows, whatever. Maybe you lean into the teal. Like that could be kind of cool.
Could be cool, yeah. But then is George gonna have to change his helmet? You won't even be able to see.
He's always blue, so you know I don't think he'd change it. You couldn't spot him. He'd be a little bit
like a camouflage situation. Yeah. Is he even there?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know.
McLaren, I think could they have the potential to throw out something kind of interesting, but like we'll have to wait and see.
I wish McLaren would do more like less papaya livery
and more black.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that could be cool.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
You know, I mean, they're papaya, so I understand why they wouldn't, but I think that I do prefer, you know, more carbon.
Yeah. I also think Racing Bulls, V-Car, whatever we want to call it, RB, I think they have the potential to do something cool. I do miss the AlphaTauri days. I loved that AlphaTauri livery, like the navy, the white. I thought it was very cool, but I don't know. They could, I think they could have more fun because they are the junior team or sister team, whatever.
I miss Toro Rosso. Like the name was so good. I'm not really sure whatever happened.
Money. That's what happened. Unfortunately. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting someone. Like, you know, will Haas do something cool? Probably not.
No. But
maybe Aston Martin. You know, I do like that green.
I like the green too.
They also have a new.
I prefer it on the safety car though. That Aston Martin SUV.
Did you see that they have a new sponsor with Elemis, the skincare brand?
No.
Joined them this week. Yeah. So
I'm not even familiar with the skincare brand.
It's a lot. It's like what a lot of like influencers use.
Oh, I'm sure I've seen it.
ELEMIS. Yeah, I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
But like love that we have like, you know, I mean obviously men use skincare too, but I like that they're branching out with their sponsors, and I think that's fun and a good way to like bring in that female audience too. So I don't know. I mean, that's just a fun little piece of news. But yeah, we'll have to wait to see how that all shakes out. Okay. What do you think about the Alpine mandatory buzz cut?
You guys, I was so upset. Like, first of all,
okay,
fantastic
upset
phrasing
is not
of the question.
Right. You were not upset.
I saw it and I was like, ugh, and I kept scrolling. Like, first of all, I think Pierre and Jack did it for different reasons that we don't need to get into.
Yeah.
And I support their decisions.
Yes. But
I just think, I actually saw this meme last night and I thought it was so funny. Like, well, it wasn't really a meme. It doesn't matter. But the guy was basically just like, he was itching for a haircut. But it's like, why do we always do this when our hair gets the perfect length? And that is a question I've asked myself for years. Like, if Carlos right now was to get a buzz cut, that would be horrendous for everyone involved. And he wouldn't, because he attached to it the way I'm attached to mine. But it's like, I felt like maybe it was a little too long, but like Jack really had his hair in a good place.
He did.
And it's just interesting to me that he decided to get rid of all of it.
But I can understand it as a girl that chops her hair off a lot. I understand like
maybe he doesn't care.
Wanting to change it up, and like for guys the hair grows so fast. Like if he wanted to have that hair again, he could have it just in a few months. Like it's going to grow back quickly. I think they both look fine with their hair. I don't think it looks terrible.
I just don't think it needed to be mandatory.
I don't think it needed to be mandatory. And
it is funny though.
I do hope that Jack's hair grows back out, because
like, do you think that's why Jack did it? Like,
no.
Do you think he thought it would be funny?
No.
Okay.
No. I think for him it's summer in Australia. I think he may have been a little hot, you know, wanting to just have something fresh for the summer, and
couldn't be me.
Cool for the summer, obviously, and you know, did that, and again, like maybe by, you know, April or whenever, it's going to be long again.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't change who he is. I still think he's a delightful person. I just, it gave me a fright.
It gave me a fright. Would Hannah be willing to do a hot lap if it was with Max? 1000%. First of all, course she would.
Okay, sweet question. I don't know if this is coming from like our Charlotte content, but like I've done hot laps before.
Yeah.
Frankie Muniz is to date my favorite driver.
Yeah.
And
she definitely would.
Yeah, of course I would. I'd be definitely way more scared because of Max's driving capability. Like
he could push it to the limit more.
Correct.
Yeah.
Push it to the limit. One of Accord and Blues. Anyway, Lewis Hamilton songs. Yeah, definitely would be willing to. Would prefer to like drink G&Ts though, Right. You don't want to be doing a hot lap. Well, and like a hot lap is like if it's do a hot lap with Max or like do anything else, like I'm going to get more time with him doing anything else cuz a hot lap is max a minute 30 seconds.
But also it's Max at his I think he likes being behind the wheel of a car. It's him potentially at his like most relaxed.
It would be really funny. It would be so funny to see me try and interview him while he's driving me around a track and I'm shitting my pants.
Red Bull, if you would like Hannah to try to interview Max inside a hot lap.
I think my biggest fear is that I would really especially in Vegas when we drove with our good friend Frankie Muniz. We got to I don't know where this energy has just come from, but hello, I haven't left my house in 7 days. Right when we're about to be done with the hot lap is when my nausea starts to kick in because I think the adrenaline's starting to die down because I know it's almost over. Yeah. My biggest fear is that Max would just go again.
Oh,
with no warning, and then I'd be really nauseous. Yeah, and that could take me down. But
that could make for a great story.
Red Bull.
Yeah,
call me.
I'll do a hot lap with any F1 driver. Whoever is interested, I'm down to do it.
I got to be honest with you. As fun as it could be, I think I would actually be really afraid to do one with Yuki.
Absolutely love it.
I know, but
he's a professional driver.
Look, I understand. I'm not saying it's a logical thing to say. It's just a fear I have.
Yeah, but also he doesn't crash very much.
No, I know. He would be just fine.
Yeah.
I think
you think he's gonna go he's like ha ha
kind of
now's my chance.
I think he would because he would know about my fear. Yeah, I think he would use that to my disadvantage.
Yeah, he would try to poke you a little bit.
Yeah, when Frankie was like, I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, I thought he was kidding.
Like, oh, the brake's not working.
He wasn't 100% sure that what happened with the track.
Totally.
Anyway, hey Frankie,
y'all should rank the grid based on their hair. I mean, it'd be hard to rank the whole grid right now, but I think it's very clear that Carlos has the best hair on the grid, and Jack, when it's at its full capacity, is number 2. I think George does have good hair when it's grown out a little bit more.
Yeah, I preferred a couple styles ago.
Yes. I think I can't remember when it was last season, but there was a period of time where he had very good, nice. He didn't use as much gel. It seemed like he kind of let his hair. It was a little bit more natural.
Coiffed, but in a nice way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else I feel like. I like Lando's hair. I think he has nice hair. Mm-hmm. Is there anyone else that
I'm kind of into the mullet.
Yeah, I mean it obviously is a person by person judgment.
I know. I meant on Lando.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying it has the risk of not being good, but I think it works for him.
Correct.
I mean Charles Leclerc has good hair. Sure. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah. What was that nonsense about his ice cream? Those emojis. Is he coming out with new flavors?
I don't know.
Is he going to start selling them in stores? Is it coming to
America?
Well,
they are sold in stores, but just in Europe, unfortunately. It needs to come to the States.
Or maybe it doesn't. I've heard it sounds so good.
Oh, yeah. It's like healthy ice cream, right?
So God.
Yeah. But anyway, any other F1 driver hair? What?
I'm sorry. I just feel like I'm off the rails right now. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Cool. Let's see what else
Fernando has pretty decent hair.
Does he?
I don't remember.
Hannah, if you were interviewing Max, what would you ask him?
That's a really good question. I honestly don't know because I think I would want to talk more about personal family life, what he likes to do off the track. Yeah. And he likes to talk about work if he's being forced to talk about anything. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a hard. I kind of want to know about Max as a dad, what he and Penelope likes to do together,
how they bond.
Is she into the racing stuff or does he play with unicorns? I don't know. I would be curious about that. But I also think he does kind of have a boundary of not talking about it, which I totally respect. So And I imagine we would need to like send in a list of questions that will be crossed off by the team. And so I'd have to probably keep it to work.
Yeah, totally.
But I would like to know if he knows anything about Frankie Muniz and if he's familiar with Agent Cody Banks.
I'm sure he is.
Or High School Musical.
I'm sure he has a sister. And that makes a difference.
Oh my God, that's such a good point.
That makes a huge difference, as we've said before.
Oh, that's good. See, really, and it's hard because I'd want to ask about like Disney Channel original movies, which, you know, American thing mostly probably. But I would be curious, like, what kind of
movies he watched growing up as a kid.
Yeah, like 17 Again. Have you seen it? Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe High School Musical. Which 2025 track will hold the most boring race for driver and fans? Monaco.
Yeah.
Monaco. That's just
the race, because qualifying is more
great.
Exciting, and then the race will just be.
But that feels not even fair to say because it's so obviously the most boring race. So let's try to. I mean, I guess it's not obvious. It could rain. That could make it interesting, but it's still going to be pretty boring. Let's try to think of something else that's not. Let's just kind of like off the wall.
Coda.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't really know why.
Just a gut feeling.
I do a really bad job of remembering what tracks.
No, it's okay.
So I'm trying to think of other ones that have like been boring, and it's either hard to pass.
It wouldn't even have to be that necessarily. It could just be like what your gut is telling you about.
Yeah, well, I'm sticking with Coda.
Okay, she's sticking with Coda, and I am going to say, what am I going to say? Maybe Barcelona.
Sure.
Okay.
Is that a street track?
No.
Great.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, no. It's sorry. No, it's not. It's not. Not yet. It will be when it goes to Madrid. It will be a street track.
So Barcelona won't ever be a street track. Then is what you're saying.
The Spain race will be a street track when it goes to Madrid. Okay. What track do you think will have the best race? Or what do you think will be the best race? Just throwing it out there.
Interlagos.
I mean, yeah. Interlagos always slaps. It does. It's always so good. I'm going to say Silverstone.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with that. Okay. Will the Max George drama come to a head at some point this season?
I never really know what, like be over. What does that mean? Or like, will it, like it's boiling point, like they'll explode at each other?
I guess. I mean, I think Max and George, their issue is obviously just their problems don't really seem to translate on the I don't feel like, I mean, they did have that Princess George thing, but I don't really feel like it ever like creates super bad tension on the track, mostly because they're not really racing each other often. I'm sure that it just depends on how the season progresses and like what's going on. Is Max getting penalized a lot?
Right.
Does he feel like he's being targeted by the FIA? Is that targeting because of things that George has been, because drivers are all trying to play their own games. I think there will be tension this season. I'm not sure who it will be between, but I think because it's going to be so heightened and like there's going to be a lot of people competing for the championship, I think it's going to make it a lot more, everyone's going to be like much more nasty, not the right word, but they're going to be holding everyone to like a certain standard and calling out every little thing that they think is wrong.
Yeah,
which
a lot of tattletaling.
Tattletaling, exactly. Who do you think will get the most polls in this qualifying? I think it's probably between Lando and Charles.
Yeah, I was going to say Lando.
I think they're both the best qualifiers. I mean, Max is a great qualifier, but TBD on the car situation. Lando's a great qualifier. Charles is a great qualifier.
He's got to learn how to start from pole, though.
Exactly. So I think it'll be one of those two. Would have to be my guess. I'm going to say Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
Okay. Give us an unpopular opinion about either an F1 driver, a track, a rule, etc.
A rule? Those won't be unpopular, though. They'll be very popular.
An unpopular opinion that I'm trying to think of one that I think would be interesting. I don't know if that I have one off the top of my head.
I don't really. That's a good question.
Like, I'm trying to think if there's a race that everyone likes that I don't really like that much. Or, I mean, maybe my unpopular... Well, I was going to say something about the sprint races, but I don't really have a big issue with them.
And it's not unpopular.
It's not really unpopular. I feel like people are pretty mixed on that. A driver that I have an unpopular opinion on...
I mean, the closest thing I have is that like I've always had a hard time understanding Lewis.
Yeah.
Like, which is, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a hard time connecting with him.
You have a hard time connecting with him. Yeah. I can't think of one, but I'll get back to you if I think of one down the line.
But by the way, love him and really excited for him to be at Ferrari.
Exactly.
I'm warming up. I just feel like I know the least about him.
Yes.
Even though he's the most famous.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. If you could travel back in time and watch any past driver race, who would it be?
That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
I think we say this a lot. I know we've seen him race, but I would have loved to have been a fan during Daniel's higher points.
Prime.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Like to get to see him do like Monaco 2018 when he won with like the failing engine or like his first win or, you know, like just times where he had just really great performances, that would have been fun.
And then I think this is probably a cliche answer, but I think like Senna. Just because like, you know, I've seen some stuff, but he's an icon and I just like don't know it. Like rewatching races or seeing clips of stuff, like it's just not the same as having been there.
Yeah. Schumacher too, I think would be cool. And just like getting to, you know what else too, I would have loved to have been around for, which we still get to see one of these people drive, but I really would have loved to have been around for
Mercedes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nico and Lewis.
Totally.
I would love that.
Imagine our podcast
I
with
know.
Mercedes.
I know. We would have that would have been so fun. Nico Rosberg, I would love to have been around for him. Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh yeah.
Just for the personality, not so much. I mean, he was a great driver, obviously, but like,
good vibes.
Good vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I'm trying to think of anybody else, but I mean, just the obvious ones, of course. Zoe, would you sacrifice Charles to have Daniel back? And I assume they mean like from the grid, not like literally sacrifice him.
Yeah, well, not dead, but like sacrifice his championship or sacrifice his seat.
It doesn't specify, but I like we can say seat. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
No. I think, you know, everyone's in a better place.
Yeah.
I think. Now, I am.
I'm going to amend the question slightly. Would you like basically swap out Charlotte and Daniel if you knew Daniel would win a championship?
100%.
Okay, right. So I think that's what's so important is that it's more just like he's, I think, maybe done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, for sure done. I also think too, something I've realized like leading into this new season is that, you know, and we've talked about this before, like in the past, I was so emotionally invested in one driver that it almost prevented me from like being as invested in the sport because it was like I couldn't always fully engage because it was like too hard or like too painful or like it's like I can't really watch this session because it's just too stressful, you know? And it's almost like by him being gone, I actually am able to be more invested in the whole sport. And like I can actually like there was times where I couldn't really engage with any sort of like post-race, you know, content, like podcasting or stuff like that. Cause it's just like, I don't want to hear about this, that, the other. It's like now, yes, of course, they're drivers that I love and I support, but it's obviously not to the same level
for you.
And I can really like dive into the whole the sport. So
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you had to go through it.
It's okay.
I'm glad you were here now.
It's okay. Who will be the next driver to get their first win? So I guess a driver that hasn't won that we think could get their first win. I mean, we can go through like, so obviously Lando and Oscar have won. Lewis and Charles have won. George has won. Kimi hasn't won.
Right.
Liam hasn't won. Lance has never won a race. Alex has never won.
I would love it to be Alex.
I would love Alex. Yuki has never won a race.
That'd be fun.
Isaac Hadjar, obviously.
I'm
Nico.
going. Nico. Poor guy. So I don't think it's gonna happen this year. I mean, that would be a crazy turn of events.
Yeah.
Not him.
The car being good.
The car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be crazy because he's never been in a podium.
The biggest part is the car.
Yes. Yes.
But I think it'll be Liam or Kimi.
Yeah, I think just judging off of who has the best chance and the best car, I think it's gonna be Kimi. That's my prediction. Is Kimi. But obviously, you guys know that I would love for Yuki to somehow get a win. Like, it would genuinely make me, him getting third.
You
or
would cry the way that I cried about Jason Statham.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way that I felt when he got, I think he got third in qualifying in Brazil this past year. And it was like a crazy qualifying, rain, all that stuff. You know, it was I don't want to say fluke qualifying, but it kind of was a fluke qualifying session. I was like thrilled for him just to be able to like park his car, you know, where the 3 is, and like be in the picture of like the top 3 qualifiers. I'm like, oh my God, there's Yuki. Like, so happy for him. And him being on the top set, or even on a podium. And to spread the champagne in the cool down room. Like, this is content we need.
That's so true.
You know?
I was watching one of my favorite shows and Liam Lawson's favorite show, Suits. Last night with my parents, and there was a scene where someone's doing her makeup, and anyway, they were like, "Oh, did they bring you?" She had like ordered sushi or something. They were like, "Oh, did someone bring you extra edamame or whatever?" She's like, "Yuki always brings me extra edamame," and I was like, "Oh my God, I've never heard it." Well, but I've just never heard his
Yuki
name. It's Yuki Tsunoda is the only one I know.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was fun because obviously I pictured him bringing her sushi.
There's a dog. I came across this creator on TikTok, and she has a dog named Yuki, and I was like, oh my God, it's obviously named after Yuki Tsunoda. She clearly doesn't. I mean, I like looked at her following and stuff. She doesn't follow Formula One, but I just was like, oh, then why is your dog named Yuki? I mean, it's a cute name for a dog, but I just was like, it should obviously have been about him. By the way, I have a show that I think you should watch. I can tell you off air, but remind me. This is a good question. You can go on a world tour to 5 F1 races in 1 year.
Oh,
which do you pick?
Free, right?
Let's free. Yeah, I'm assuming it's all paid. Let's try to pick 5 like together that we would do together. So obviously Australia.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We're starting in Australia. Okay, which ones are obviously we can kind of come back and fill in the gaps? I mean, I think we'd have to do Silverstone.
Yeah, because
I think we would have to do. I mean, it's hard for me to say like Austin, Miami, or Vegas because we've done those races. So I kind of want to pick international races. I would love to do Japan. Yeah, if you'd be down to do that with me.
Sure. I wish Australia and Japan were closer in the calendar.
Yeah, but we're flying first class, lay down seats. Like we're getting the. I'm just putting that in there. We're getting the A plus. Do we do like a Monaco? Do we do a Monza? Do we do?
I think Monaco over Monza. Okay. I mean, I know you've been, but that would be
for sure. It's again another legendary
and
one,
like
historic.
We're gonna be like on the yacht, and that's fun.
And then I'm thinking. So we have Australia, we have Japan, we have Monaco, we have Silverstone. I'm thinking we either do.
So that's 4.
That's 4. And like the back half of the season, we're kind of.
Well,
do we do Abu Dhabi? Do we do Brazil? Do we do Singapore?
Ooh. I was going to say Brazil, but I'm okay with any of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wish I could pick knowing if Abu Dhabi is going to be exciting or just like we already know what's going on.
But that's true. Let's say Brazil.
Okay.
And we can adjust accordingly.
Yeah, we're happy to go wherever you want to send us.
Yeah, we'll go to any race for free. Yeah. We wanted to go to Baku for the longest time. Remember?
True, Paddock Princess.
So I mean, we're down to do anything. Dinner party, and you can invite 1 rookie, 1 race winner, and 1 world champion. I assume you could also pick your race winner could also be a world champion if you wanted it to be. But
sure.
This is a good question. Do you have an answer yet?
It doesn't look like I have an answer yet.
Okay, well then go ahead.
I
can go ahead. So my world champion's going to be Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
My race winner is going to be Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
And my rookie is going to be Jack.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Though it's tough between Jack and Kimmy, but.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going with Max.
Yep.
Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Jack.
Great. Love it. I love it.
That'll be fun.
That'd be so fun. Oh my gosh. Yes.
We should just go to the same dinner since we both had Jack. It's like can't spread his time, and then we can all just be together.
Okay. And I don't know how that will go with I guess it'll be fine. Max and Lewis are totally fine now.
They'll be fine. They've had dinner plenty of times.
Which race will have the longest red flag? That's a great question.
That is a great question. And I feel like, well,
it's going to be a race. I was going to say it's going to be a street track where like someone crashes and everything because it's a street track. All of the debris goes everywhere, and it takes forever for it to.
A rainy day.
Oh, that's true.
Like a Suzuka.
That's true. Or it could be one where like they crash into the barrier, and then the barrier gets totally effed, and they have to spend forever to clear the barrier.
Ugh.
Or it could be like in Silverstone with Joe. Like that was terrible. That was crazy.
That was
we haven't had a crash like that. Knock on wood.
This is wood.
That was bad.
I was like, this is metal. And then like Australia last year was crazy.
Or was it 2 years ago? I don't even remember
when that was crazy.
When all that like the rocks essentially got on. So the point is you can't really predict.
It's hard.
It could be anyone. But I'm gonna predict, and I'm gonna say Monza.
Okay, I'm gonna say.
Not that we'll be really keeping track, but we'll kind of know.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Spa for rain.
That's a good one. That's
not
a good
injury.
One.
Not accident.
We want it to be. It's just for rain. They delay it. Okay. Let's see. To promote F1, which would you prefer drivers do? Hot ones or chicken shop date?
Oh, it's such a great question. And honestly, it depends so much on the personality of the driver, because Max, hot ones. He would not know what to do with chicken shop date, I don't believe.
It's all about
the driver personality.
It's all about the driver personality, and it's all about like, do they understand chicken shop date or do they not? Because I feel like there's just people who just won't get it. Yeah. And won't be willing to play along.
Yeah. Lewis has done hot ones.
Yes, Lewis has done
so
hot
now
ones.
he has to go on chicken shop date.
And I think he would get it. I actually do think he would get it.
And he is coy enough and reserved enough
that it would
give the perfect amount of like flirt and that would be fun.
Exactly.
Amelia would lose her mind.
Exactly. I felt like Lando on chicken shop date gave like, he was good, but I felt like he could have done a little bit more. I feel like he wasn't fully willing to like play along. Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah. Sean just does. I think for me too, it's like, what drivers do I want to know a little bit more information about? Because he does such a good job of research, and not that Amelia doesn't ask questions, but it's more like first date questions, not like about their history. Yes, I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like who I think would be the great. So we said Lewis for chicken shop, but I'm trying to think if there's another driver that would be good on. This is gonna sound kind of weird, but I do, if he like could be described the situation properly, I feel like Yuki could be kind of funny on chicken shop date.
Totally. I also feel like Alex Albon could potentially get
exactly. I think Alex could be good. And then hot ones, maybe like Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc would be hilarious because his mouth would be burning so hot,
he'd be crying.
He wouldn't know what to do. Yeah. And we said this before too about chicken shop date. Oscar could be good.
Yeah.
Oscar could be really good. But I also just feel like
But he also couldn't miss
I also
the plot.
think the driver, like the people who they don't, again, the ones that are in a relationship, I feel like they feel weird about like, if they're not already actors, I feel like they feel weird about like pretending to be on a date with somebody, and they're not fully willing to like go for it because they kind of feel like awkward about it. When hopefully we all know it's like totally just like an acting skit, you know? Yeah. But so I just worry that he would be a little bit. I feel
like Liam would be good on hot ones too.
Oh yeah, Liam, and he'd be good on. I think he actually be good on chicken shop date too. I'm still
great question.
Jury's still out for me on like how Ollie would be or how Kimmy would be.
We'll keep you posted.
But we'll figure that out.
Ollie feels cheeky though. Like I feel like he could be fun with Amelia.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we'll take anything. We'll take whatever we can get.
But are they old enough for her?
They're all over 18.
Well, I didn't mean legally. I meant like, I feel like she has an age threshold.
Oh, does she? I don't know.
Maybe I'm just.
I guess I've never seen her with anyone or do it with anyone who's like, super young. Yeah. But Daniel would also be great on chicken shop date or in hot ones too if he ever wanted to venture out, if he needed to expand his also media.
Sean Evans being in a Super Bowl commercial was really fun for me.
Yeah.
I was I felt like a proud
good for
cousin
him
or something.
Yeah, proud cousin. Okay, we'll end on this one. Okay. Which drivers on the grid would make a good boy band? I feel like we've done this before, but
okay.
What are you thinking?
I'm just trying to go through the personalities. So Lewis, I think.
Yep.
He also has, a career kind of. Charles.
Yep.
This is where it starts to get tricky. I'm trying to oh yeah, did I not say?
You said Lewis.
Oh yeah, Lando. And then I want Daniel in there, but I can't.
Yeah. I know.
Liam is actually I had no idea.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. And Alex Albon.
Okay, I think that's great. I think that's fun. I think I would say, like Ollie gives me.
Also, is it a K-pop group? Because then we could just have all of them.
What you mean because it's so big?
I don't know why I
was like, we don't have a Korean on the grid.
No, but I just meant like there's only 5 of them. I picked 5 because those are the typical boy band size.
Yeah. Well, we can keep it to 5.
Okay.
Ollie gives me boy band energy. Like Ollie's
so
like
true.
That God. And so
sorry,
does
Ollie.
Kimmy.
I keep forgetting about the rookies.
Kimmy kind of does too.
Yeah.
Like he gives me that kind of like sweet. I can see him in that like group.
Yeah, he's the Nile.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously Liam too. Like so, we could make one with all the. I mean, Kimmy, Jack, Liam, Ollie, and I guess there's like Bortoletto and there's Isaac Hadjar, but like that's 6. I think it could work.
Mm-hmm.
But like they can make a boy band. There could be an oldies boy band with like Nico, Fernando, Lewis. I mean, Carlos doesn't really give me boy band energy.
No.
I don't know. That's a tough one. Yuki kind of gives me boy band energy.
He gives it to me.
Like he could I could totally see him with like the little head mic. And like
the old Backstreet Boys gear with the muscle
shirts.
Yes.
Yes. 100%.
Totally.
And like he's gonna pop out on like a toaster. Like 1000%. Actually, he's the one I can picture the most doing it.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if he can sing at all, but who
no,
cares?
but like I can see him like pointing and like walking and like. Okay, actually, he's the one. He's
doing
the
one. Taylor Swift up to the audience.
Yeah, he's the one that I actually see pulling off the outfits and the looks and the fits and like the energy is right. And he kind of has like the swoopy hair.
Mm-hmm. The Justin Bieber.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, well that's our questions for this week. Those were some good questions. I feel like we'll do this probably like in 6 months or something. The next
it's good. It's refreshing.
Time we have another like off week or something. Give us something to
6 months from now.
Yeah. We got race. It's going to be busy. Just a bit of a scheduling update. So Hannah is going to be gone for a few weeks, traveling and work stuff and a wedding and all these things. So we actually just pre-recorded an episode with M. Selleck that will be out beginning of March. And then she and I are going to do like some remote stuff while she's gone. So, there's a lot of things going on in the next couple of weeks with
a lot of balls in the air
with the livery launch and testing and all that stuff. So we're going to try to cover it all and do our very, very best to like make sure that we are discussing all the stuff going on in Formula One. But because of our schedules, things might be like a little bit delayed, or you might be hearing an episode that we recorded like a few weeks before, so we don't cover like the most current news. So just wanted to let you guys know that in advance, just in case things pop up. But we'll do our best.
Doing our best.
Yeah, we're doing what we can, and we will be back together in person. I think actually the next time we'll be back together in person, that's not pre-recorded, is for the Australian GP recap.
Oh wow.
Which is crazy to think about. I'm pumped for that. So, anything else you want to add before we part ways?
No, it's been real.
It's been very, very real. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoy the car launch this week, and all the other fun stuff coming up. And we'll see you guys next time. Oh, actually, one thing is this Wednesday, our episode with the Ford CEO, Jim Farley, will be coming out. It's going to be an audio only episode, but please check that out if you are interested. We talked about Ford and Red Bull and all this good stuff. So
he was the nicest.
Yeah, look out for that on Wednesday. And I think now that is it.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week. Enchante.